we have not had a good time. We've kind of fucked up pretty badly at the beginning. We have not been doing good. So we have a couple quests. Finding Seraphin's sister. Figuring out what's wrong with our gate, our frame. But now we need to go. That's right. We need let's see, we went to Flotsam. We need to go to the Helion Gate. That's right. We need like a powerful core. There's the green belt where we can get some spores. And we need to go to the scatter yards for Hex. Where was... Hold on. So I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll go here. Because we can't go through these asteroids. So I think we'll go down here. Up here. Up there. And then we'll backtrack. And then we'll go to Flotsam. And I think that's our most efficient path. You know? I promise to not touch the electrical equipment with my hands. Just get the creature. No, don't use creatures. Don't be mean to them. Unless I guess they're electric eels. But in that case, you're not really testing anything. They like the electricity. We've got a whole bunch of stuff that we've been building up. We ended last time kicking a guy off our ship because the dude was sus as hell. I need to fix my die. Hold on. So I've got some scrap. Hydrate. Fine. Have a Dreki drink. I'm done. It's on my snoot. I'm balancing it on my snoot. I do like one of those tricks where I like flip it. Like I flick my head to flip it around, then I catch it again. Delicious. Refreshing. Okay. So we have all our die. We get -3 on traveling. So we might as well spend some time here getting some money until this counter builds up to 3. And then we can fly off to our destination. Let's set our guy to source supplies. So maybe we can get some free supplies. Those are our most expensive. We also need to get more skill points to get these things. Oh, no, not the scan. No! I turned into like a donut. Like I fell into an inner tube and just my head's poking out the middle. Good scan. Good scan. All right. So we are a very cerebral creature. I think up here. Yeah, there's align arrays. Get these to guaranteed positive. Good shit. All right. And then we will end the cycle. Nice. Get all these glitch dice out of the way. I need to repair these dice. Forgot about those. I missed the Dorame. Yeah, the thing is I can't separate it from my other audio channels, and it just speed bumps the hell out of my VODs because it always gets DMCA slapped. This would reduce our stress. Can I not fix? Maybe our workshop gets upgraded later? That's not good then. Shit. The next time we go on a mission, those 2 dice are probably gonna get destroyed. With our luck on how all of our missions have been going, like, we need every single die possible. Fuck. That's not good. That's really not. I hope we find something to get those fixed. Aha! Success! Our little pretty penny. And then we eeps. Actually, I wonder. I have an idea. And I think we have the leeway to test it out. What if I intentionally drive our stress up? And try and break them while we're in the station. I say, and then I forget my other dice can roll it, so I'm probably fucked. Shit. And if I'm gonna be 50-50 failing anyway, maybe I do it on this, because I think I can get scrapyard. Scrap? No, that's just cryo. Okay. I'm gonna need... Well, I got 5 rare components. I can use those to repair all my dice. I'll just work on getting a whole bunch of money. It's really awkward if I spend all this extra time to try and fix my dice, and then shortly later I get a way to fix it, but like I really, really, really need my damn dice. Fuck. Maybe I shouldn't have repaired my die. Maybe I should just let all my stuff break. Maybe I just wasted those components. Fuck. I seem to have fucked up now. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Yeah, I think that's enough stress. I already have a 50-50 chance. I should go ahead and eat. That's right. I can't work at Neba's kitchen anymore. So I can get food at Gaia's Gyre. Get this. Yeah, I've got a couple more cycles before I just absolutely have to jump. Let me get scrap. 6, 8. Okay, that's good. Let me also make sure we have fuel. And then on the last day, we have enough for supplies. So hopefully, Seraphin can get some more free supplies since those are 15 credits each. Save us a little bit. All right, so that's 3 die down. Great. Now I just need the other 2 broken. Next cycle. Some money. Nice. Nice. And actually, we need, let's just process these. We get money and some processed scrap. I don't know what the process scrap could be for. I don't know what the engine components could be for, but you know what? I'm sure we'll find a use for them eventually. All right. I think this is as good as it's gonna get. Get our stress down. Let's repair our shit. Luckily, our glitch counter cannot get above 6. Oh, did I buy 2? Well, I only had to repair 4 die and not 6. So, yeah, okay. Buy the rest of our supplies. Make sure we're all topped up before we go to this place, because this is our first time going there. There will probably be a mission. Helion Gate. Let's go! Helion Gate hangs over the rig. Corroded arches resemble the dislocated vertebra of some vast, long-dead serpent. Space snake. Oh. One big ugly scrap pile. Seraphin whistles from the pilot seat. Solheim didn't like to bid him small. Kinda beautiful. Sure. Seraphin waves a hand at the gate. In that morbid kind of way that dead things are. No, in that serpentine way. That's a screaming. Yeah, go for it. Has to be big if you want to fit every ship that visits the system through it. Bliss cuts in from the back of the cockpit. Impressive, really. Building something so massive out here. Don't like to impress visitors, sure. Seraphin leans forward, looking for the best place to enter the structure. They also like to scan entire ships and impound those that didn't enter through the gate. Seraphin catches your eye, looking for some agreement. Not the most admirable qualities. Solheim was a curse on this system. Seraphin nods. Better off without him. That's for sure. I agree, but without them, the system would just be 2 gas giants and a load of rocks. No harm in recognizing it. You look out of the cockpit towards the gate. Its layers of systems and rooms slowly opening to the void, peeling away cycle after cycle to reveal the bones beneath. No, don't go in the void! You said Jungle Whispers post, right? So, StreamerBot, Streamer.bot is the program I use to manage all my redeems and alerts and such. It actually has the ability to connect a second account and designate that as a bot account. And there's a way on Twitch, you have to like activate a toggle on Twitch so you could use the same email to make another account and it's like in place specifically so you can have an alt account or like a bot account. And so I made Jungle Whispers, locked it down or whatnot, and have that associated as my bot account. And I can set things to fire off either under my name or as the bot account's name, because it has the authentication for both to do stuff. And most everything, I just have it going under the bot's name. And then Streamer Bot's just like a time. I just have like a regular timed message that walks through things. I think it's like every 15 or 30 minutes or so, it'll do the next message. And like sometimes if I have like a thing I want to promo or an event coming up, I just add more if conditions and just add on to the chain before it cycles through. So it's fairly automatic. This is where Jean-Mi mentioned you might be able to find the location of a ship with a prime Shipmind among the old shipping manifests and Solheim records. Look over the towering structure of the gate. This is going to take some work. Suddenly, a flash high up on the gate catches your eye. A light turning on and off again for a moment. You lose track of it. Is this place inhabited? Serpent raises an eyebrow. I doubt it. He winks and smiles. You open for a station-side bar? I have a feeling you'll be disappointed. Unless we find an executive's old liquor cabinet. Bliss pats you on the shoulder and drifts out of the cockpit. So I want to have that settled. Yeah, I feel the same way. I think it's a way to add a little bit more flavor to things. Time to see what secrets the gate has left. Okay, so we've got the record hall. We've got the customs hall. We've got 6 fuel. Which is just enough to get the Holmes rock. So good thing we stocked up. Just be a Soul Weaver. Nice. Well, this has interface, and that is our strongest suit. Great. Ooh, nice. All right. Now, the downside of running up our timer is that I might have to jump out of here. And come back, which would suck to waste some time. Hear me out. I just realized I forgot to fix my stress. Fuck. I forgot that. Great. I literally put myself back into the exact... Oh my god, I wasted all that time and money. Fuck. Yarr, fuck. This shit be a bunch of bollocks. I forgot that, like, so at the end of a mission, you lose 5 stress. But I guess traveling doesn't count as the same. Hear me out. My stress could be higher, though. It can also be lower, Dreamer. It can be so much lower. This stress is brutalizing our... Look at our dice. Look at how cracked they are. This is a sign of stress. These dice are damaged. Thank you for the boops. In the dark and airless void of the archives, something flickers. You've been working in the dark, picking through the guts of the corroded machines, skimming the data in their corrupt memories, digging through a graveyard in search of ghosts. But now, with another flicker, this place begins to come back to life. All along the rows of benches, some of them crushed by fallen ceiling panels, terminals begin to flicker into uneasy life. A cacophony of distorted sounds accompanying the machines, as some of them immediately glitch and spark. Did you do this? You stand frozen as the archive glitters around you with a million shipping entries. The stream of information is overwhelming, node graphs drawing out routes and inventories, tracing a web around you in pale cyan. Suddenly, they all shut off. The terminals blinking out together, leaving a single translucent screen glowing softly in the dim room. And that dim room drifts towards you. Drifting towards you out of the dark, you see a figure. Santa Claus? Is this what you're looking for? The voice crackles aggressively through your suit's local comms. Who are you? Junie! Yes! Aha! They survived the station going sploozy. Good. Ooh, if Junie's here, I wonder if Nem is somewhere as well. Ooh, oh, I really hope Nem made it off. I have been so concerned because I fucked up the tutorial beginning station section so badly. Because I figured we could have recruited Junie onto our ship, and I thought maybe we could get Nem as well. And oh boy, oh Junie, you are a balm to the soul. Hey, really sorry about destroying that Shipmind core earlier. It just kind of happened. I got klutzy robo fingers. Sleeper, is that you? You hear Junie's voice now, tense and unsure. She stops beside the single online terminal, her suited form lit in pale light. Junie! You hear the smile in her voice. Good to see you again. She pauses and glances around. Though the venue is a little unexpected. What are you doing here? I'm searching these archives too, although slightly less forcefully than you. I did have this whole speech prepared for whatever salvager was ripping through these archives so messily, not to mention aggressively. Now that I know it was you, well, I'm just glad to see you. Although you really need to be more careful. You could have taken the entire archive down the way you were working with it. These machines are decades old. You can't just rifle through them like they were a scrap pile. I saw the pattern of your queries. A prime Shipmind equipped ship, still operational at the collapse, last located in the region around the Helion Gate. You can feel how pleased she is with herself from here. Is that about right? Nicely done. She nods. Would you expect anything else? Why, I did the hard work for you. Junie beckons you over to the lone lit-up terminal. You drift over and see a single point, a faded transit trail beside it, sunward from the Helion Gate. Something like this, maybe? She smiles and steps aside so you can see the screen. You check the info pane beside the map. Shipmind in use. Abandoned by all hands after the collapse. Tantalizingly in reach. What can I say? Try. Thank you, Junie. But Junie turns and in the glow of the terminal meets your eye with complete seriousness. The question is, what do you want it for? I explain the fact that I'm a sleeper. You tell her what Jean-Mi told you about your shifting body transformed by some unknown influence, about the need for a prime Shipmind to house your emulated mind while he runs a diagnostic process. She is silent for a moment, unsure how to respond. I'm sorry, sleeper, but I think I can help you. Want to come with you? Junie gives you a strong look. Do you know how often someone gets out to one of those old Solheim wrecks? They're more trouble than they are worth. But contained inside, there's an entire history to uncover. I need that Shipmind, and you are welcome to it. He pauses. I promise to help you get what you need, and not get in your way. I know I can't force you or trick you into taking me. That's why I wanted to offer you this instead. She indicates the terminal, still showing the ship's final resting place. I hope that maybe if I helped you find what you needed, it would show I can be trusted. How'd you escape export? With great difficulty, she sighs. Evacuation was called, and I managed to get on board an outbound ship. Didn't see you in chaos. Well, I'm glad to see you now. She pauses. Think about my offer, Sleeper. I'll send the coordinates to your ship, and I'll be hanging around the gate until you are ready to leave. She shifts in front of the terminal and plugs in her deck, tapping away at rapid speed. If you need to get supplies from the Spindle or anything else, fine. She folds her arms. I'll wait. If you go on this job without me, I'll get the message. She shrugs. You won't see me again. With that, you leave her in the archive, extracting data, as you ascend back to Helion Gate's upper levels. Well, well, well. What can we find over here in the customs hall? Oh, we can look for supplies with the one stat I'm worst at. Cool. Oh, we can look for fuel. Also with the skill I'm worst at. Great. Fucking fantastic. Heat structure. Data scraping. Sure. Why not get a whole bunch of Solheim data? My energy. All right. This is an important mission, so I need to unfuck my dice. I wasted all that time and money. Hold on. All right, does this give me free scrap? No. I thought I could get free scrap from there. All right, I guess the best thing I can do is just get as much money as possible. Let's set our dude to scavenging fuel. And then we end our turn. We might need to travel back and forth to get our timer down while we run things up. Get the money, money, money. It cost us a pretty penny. Unless we get super lucky. All right. Of course, we're not super lucky. That's fine. Fitty fitty. A cryo still a cryo, you know? Alright, let's get the rest of our scrap. Good shit. Okay, we're only a little bit in the hole. Well, it sucks having to burn this time just to deal with this. All right, we're gonna need to fly out this cycle. Oh, wrong place. Get a bit of money. Okay, okay. Now we fly back to Helion Gate. Whee! All right, one broke. Just need these other two to also break while we have these high die. Get some more data. Wait a minute. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, never mind. I almost got fucked because I forgot to top off my fuel. Oh, that would have been the worst way to end up in a worse situation. And a hell of a way to end my game. All right. We just need these two dice to break. Well, don't do that. Yeah, I'm trying. Boy, howdy am I trying. Oh, wow. Scavenged a hell of a lot of fuel. All right, good job, buddy. All right. Now let's travel back to the far Spindle. Okay, almost broken. I think I will go ahead and eat. Don't need to worry about starving anymore now that we're down to our last couple die. Actually, let's have this one. We'll try and get one stress removed. Good. I think having a 50-50 chance of the die. Okay. Doing good. Pretty close. Ow. Losing energy does kind of suck. We have a little bit of a buffer room. Just keep rolling high. Well, geez. All right. All right, I'm gonna have to eat at the gyre now. Uh-oh. It started as a creeping dullness. Something that drew you further from the world, cycle by cycle. But now, in this moment of waking, it is a shifting pain. It jumps across your body, faster than you can follow, and you jerk against it. As you do, a numbness starts to spread across your skin, as if you're sinking into cold water. The pain dances across this numbness, as if it was skimming on its surface. But then, as you submerge, it becomes distant, and you realize you're leaving this body, your frame. Suddenly something pulses inside you, some system you've never felt before. As it does, you feel yourself external to your frame, remaining on the surface. You don't feel your limbs or your organs. You barely have your thoughts. You're a pulsing point, a compressed self, flickering out. You see figures, unrecognizable shadows, gathering around you. Feel the tug of a single thread binding you to your frame, keeping you from floating away. And at the end of that thread, something pulses and glows. rebuilds itself in a new and more unstable form. Your frame will recover. It'll be changed this cycle. It will bear the weight of keeping you alive. No, don't throw me into the void! I'm hanging on by a thread, Quill! It will break some part of itself, of yourself, so you may persist. You watch as it does, and anticipate waking into this newly distorted self. And then you are awake, somehow together, somehow apart, in pain and a little more broken than before. Not knowing if your survival is a miracle or a burden. You've gained a permanent glitch. Oh, chat, we are not doing good. We are doing extremely bad, in fact. Oh, man. Can I catch a break? Oh, why? Why? I'm just trying to fix my dice, man. Why you gotta do me dirty like this? Oh, fuck. All right. Fix all of our dice. Eat some food. Let's get some of our glitch dice out of the way. And by some, I mean one. Wonder if that's because I had stress. Because it immediately removed all of my stress. I don't want to waste energy. We're just gonna take our map. Let's get our fuel. Buy fuel. Buy some snacks. Get the fuck out of here. I feel like if I try and get myself in a better state, I'm just gonna end up even more fucked. All right, might as well spend our dice. At least the good ones. Scrape more data! More data! I'm waiting for the fact that I'm a hacker man to pay off. Because right now, I feel like being the hacker class has been hard mode. There's so many endure checks that have been coming up. And we don't have unless I fucked something up, and we could have gotten an endure crew member. But like, fuck, dude. All right, let's get that Shipmind, and maybe our luck will finally turn around. It's gonna cost 4 fuel. I don't have, then I won't have enough fuel to wait. Well, that means I need to get fuel here from scavenging it. 80-20. Fuck. Ow. All right, I need fuel. Okay, he didn't find any. Let's scavenge for some. Refuel. All right. All right. I feel a lot better about this. Yeah, let's get that Shipmind. Travel to contract. Confirm. All right. Hopefully we're cashing in all of our bad luck at the start of the game. All right. We're good, chat. We're good. Too far sunward, sleeper. Seraphin turns back in his chair to look at you. I don't like it. Hard not to agree. The coordinates Junie found have drawn you out of Helion Gate, and almost out of the belt completely, into the soft, rubble-strewn transition with the Helion system, to the edge of the Conway-controlled space. That's why the ship is unlikely to be touched. Junie surveys the wreck coldly. It's too far sunward for belt traffic to run into. And now, with Conway drones patrolling the edge of the belt, even less attractive as a salvage site. Lucky us. Junie eyes you, trying to detect if you are being sarcastic or not. I doubt anyone has been here in decades. So actually, I would say we are lucky. We need to be quick. Agreed. Seraphin flicks a few switches. You should assume this wreck is being watched, or at least on a patrol route. As you look out at the twisted wreck, you swear you see a red light blinking between the stars. You exchange a look with Seraphin. He has seen it too. Better get to it, sleeper. Seraphin begins unclipping from his seat, quickly and quietly. From what I understand, Conway drones run on automatic until they detect something of interest. Junie unclips too. So, as long as we are quiet, we don't have to contend with an operator, just automated search sweeps. If we're detected, you'll be killed by a machine, not a person. Liz shakes their head. I don't find that very reassuring. They get up out of their corner seat and glide towards the back of the ship to get suited up. You drift out of your chair and head towards the airlock, unable to shake the feeling of being watched. Being here is a risk, you know that, but you need this Shipmind. No matter what happens, you won't be leaving here empty-handed. Okay, hopefully I don't breaky. Oh, I think we've done enough breaking. Okay, some of this map data. Okay. Don't like getting that stress, but it is what it is. Even better, baby. Use their 5. No big deal. I have 2 6s to finish this stage. Junie leads you deep into the wreck, through crushed and twisted corridors, floating panels, and wires appearing suddenly in your headlamps, like strange sculptures. Just as you begin to tire of the endless dark and the haze of particles washing over your suit, Junie leads you into a chamber where the ceiling is torn open to reveal the stars. At its center lies a cylindrical object, half your height, but raised on a complex pedestal from which countless thick cables snake off into the dark like braided hair. 1 or 2 of them float freely, waving back and forth with glinting severed ends. Most of them disappear into the floor and walls or twist and curve out of sight. Beautiful, isn't it? Junie stares at the prime Shipmind, the stars reflected in her faceplate. Not bad. Junie glides over to the pedestal, pushing her way delicately through the wires. She takes out her terminal and looks for an access port. She talks, softly, her voice carried through the suit comms. These cables lead off to every one of the ship systems. Engines, life support, navigation, lighting, networking, you name it. Shipmind has hardwired access to them all. And an old ship like this was running well. Shipmind would distribute itself, some of its protocols running freely in different sections. It'd be less like a single governing mind, more like a load of systems clumped together to form a complex living machine. Think of a plant, rather than a being. A plant with incredibly rapid processing power and a much more accelerated response time than your average tree. You watch as she finds an access port, slips a cable inside, slotting a translucent screen onto the top edge of her deck. Let's see here. Junie's screen fills with bright scrolling data. Incredible. There's so much here. She hits a few keys. We're still copying this over. It's everything I need. You watch as Junie starts rapidly tapping at her keyboard, her attention sucked into the data she's extracting. Wait for her to notice. You wait quietly in the ruined chamber, watching the stars through the ripped roof. You can understand Junie's insatiable curiosity. These wrecks are incredible. Junie suddenly snaps out of her trance. Right, where were we? The Shipmind. Let me check. As I thought. She sighs. So, like I was saying, the protocols inside the Shipmind are distributed. So when the Shipmind is shut down unexpectedly, the protocols are rarely all contained in this unit. She places a hand gently on the cylinder. As is the case here, parts of it are trapped elsewhere in the ship system's nodes. She taps a few keys, which is a problem. There's always a problem. Luckily, Junie turns back to you smiling. You have me. I feel like using a keyboard in zero G. Well, I mean, she's like locking it into place. Like on a deck or something. So it's like, it's not floating freely. So that certainly helps. And we have like magnetic boots. So there's a force keeping us in place to be able to type and not push away from the console or whatnot. If we rip this thing out now, with parts of its protocols elsewhere, it's probably going to destroy itself the moment we turn it on. Doesn't matter that we are going to wipe the whole thing anyway. It'll be too late. The mind inside the ship mind will be broken. But if we find the nodes housing the distributed parts, power them up, and then disconnect them, the protocols will be sent right back to the ship mind here, and take it out clean. Sounds easy. Well, it isn't. She hits a key and a complex node map springs onto her screen. But it is doable. Got an incoming signal. Serpent's voice suddenly cuts through on comms, urgent and nervous. You're lighting up the systems and networks down there. Time to stop. You hear a click as Junie disconnects from the cradle. The two of you exchange nervous looks, instinctively backing off from the ship mind. Suddenly, the faint red light glitters in the dark beyond the broken ceiling. You hold still. The moment stretches out, and you hear Junie's breathing through the comms. The light flashes, pauses, and then fades. You take a breath. Too close. Conway drone. Junie whispers, sniffing the network. We're clear. Seraphin chimes in again. I've turned off almost all the rig systems, but we need to be careful. Keep network activity to a minimum. Understood. Junie cuts in. But we'll need to access the network to get the ship mind out quickly. And I hope you're feeling lucky. There's a click as Seraphin closes the line. You and Junie look at each other again. Then it's the ship mind, enclosed in its cradle, wrapped in cables. This isn't going to be easy. Hack the cradle! I love how all of us suck at Endure. Great. Great. Love having a chance of a glitch dice every single cycle. Every single cycle. We need to get this done. Great. Great. Not great. And Bliss. Nope, she's got -2 on both. Bliss is here for moral support at the moment. Double sixes? Fuck yeah, Junie. Hack the planet! Or at least hack the ship mine. Double sixes and double fives. Okay. Okay, so that's an engineering. Bliss can work on that. Does this have an engineering? It does. Good. Okay, so both of these are the same. Good fucking shit. Okay, I have one out. And next cycle, I should be able to get the other one out. And then it's Shipmind extraction. Let's use Bliss for this. It's ready, sleeper. Junie's voice comes quietly through your comms. You look over to her, floating beside the cradle, uplit by the pale screen of her deck. She gives you a reassuring nod. You turn to the prime Shipmind, now floating above its cradle. The final nodes disconnected and the locks released. You glide over and gently grab it, the worn metal casing gleaming in the dim light. As you do, you feel a strange sensation of something moving around inside, like a creature in a box, the weight shifting this way and that under the pressure of your grip. Suddenly dawns on you that Jean-Mi plans to put you inside this strange device, to hold your mind in here while he investigates your body. The thought prompts a shiver. The drone's still sniffing around, sleeper. Seraphin's voice crackles on the comms. If you have what you need, let's go. You feel Junie's hand fall on your shoulder. Come on, sleeper. Don't overthink it. She pats you gently. There will be plenty of time for that later. You look up and see a faint red light glittering out in the dark, beyond the broken ceiling. Time to leave. Hey, we got a success! Let's fucking go! Leave. Alright, we're starting off good today. Arriving back at the Helion Gate, as lonely and as cold as it is, feels like a relief. There was a tension in the rig as you came back out of the inner system. A watchfulness for errant signals and glinting red beacons that choked the conversation. But now, floating in the comforting shadow of this vast ruin, the sense of relief is palpable. One prime Shipmind, condition unknown, retrieved. Seraphin runs the engine shutdown protocols as he speaks. I'd mark that as a success. Let's head to Flotsam. Give me a minute. Seraphin reaches up and flicks a switch above him. We haven't even stopped yet. Sleeper, can I speak with you? Junie asks from the back of the cockpit. Of course. She leads you out into the passage, hugging herself against the wall. She looks small, even in this compact space. Thank you for taking me with you. I hope I proved I am trustworthy. I never doubted you, Junie. You are a wonderful, amazing being. That's nice to hear. Although I am not a legume. Thank you. She smiles at the floor. In my time here, in the belt, I haven't found it easy to make friends. She falters, tripping over her words slightly. But you, sleeper? Well, I hope you'd consider me a friend at least. I would. You're a wonderful friend, Junie. She can't help but smile. I'm glad. Then I would like to ask you something. She pauses. Ooh, is she gonna ask us to help her on her project? I think she said she was working on something herself. Would you consider taking me on with you on the rig? She blurts out. And then before you can answer, I think I would be of help for your diagnostic. And in the meantime, I can take a look at the Shipmind, make sure it's ready, and Junie, say the word. You can, of course, join us. She stops, speechless. She looks down at her hands and then back up at you. Okay. She smiles. Thank you. She looks down again. We'll find a bunk. She quickly slides off down the corridor before you can say anything further. Another stray collected. Serpent puts a hand on your shoulder. Quite the refuge we're building here. Gives you a sly smile. We need her. I don't doubt. Ah! Dang it, Dreamer! Why are you throwing the explosive ones at me? Are being mean to me? All right, I'll hydrate. At the height of my triumph, you lay me low with explosions. I don't doubt it. Serpent squeezes your shoulder. Get that Shipmind to Flotsam. I'm sure Junie will approve herself there once again. He smiles and pushes off from your shoulder, gliding towards the engine room. You look towards the bunks, but Junie is already out of sight, likely unpacking already. Ship is getting a little crowded, but starting to realize you like it like that. At the very least, you'll prove invaluable when you get to Flotsam and have to deal with Jean-Mi. Perhaps she'll even have a read on the old man. You pause for a second, appreciating the warmth, the hum of the rig and its inhabitants. This ship, you think, starting to feel like home. Okay. I might as well spend my dice. Sure, the Solheim data will come in handy someday. Now, I was thinking of going to Holmes Rock and Flotsam, but we don't have enough fuel, so we're just gonna go far Spindle, Flotsam, and we'll go from Flotsam to Holmes Rock up to Wellspring. To the Spindle! Away! Alright. We'll have him get supplies. We got 3 free turns. Might as well as spend them. A nice monetary cushion. Although hopefully the crew can find supplies and save us a bit of money. Love the fact that we're basically... We don't even have a broken die, but we're basically down to a broken die because of this fucker. Actually, this is oh, that's not too bad. Back to the rig and cycle. Good shit. Oh, this is awful. That permanent glitch is awful. Especially since we can't remove it. God, man. Game really is like... You think you're gonna sit here and farm resources, buddy? Nah, But you want another fucking timer. Align the Netflix arrays. Exactly. Look, they gotta have something to do on the space station. It's pretty boring out here otherwise. All right, we are topped off on everything. I'm gonna send to scavenge fuel. And let's head to Flotsam and get our body checked out. In like a diagnostic way. Okay. Now, before I do that, we have some dice. Okay, we can get raw scrap in addition to a pretty penny. And then we can process the scrap into the plates. Whatever that's worth. You can also buy engine components here. Would be interesting. Alright, let's go to Jean-Mi and give him the Prime Shipmind. Shipmind Prime! Come. Let's get you inside. Jean-Mi sweeps open the creaking, corroded doors beside his booth. Such a prize must have levied a heavy cost. You glance beside you to Junie, who insisted she came along, and on not letting the Prime Shipmind out of her sight. Your friend, too? Yes? Please, come in. Jean-Mi beckons and then turns back, disappears inside. Junie squints at you. You sure you trust this one? I do. She sighs. Then lead on, I guess. You both squeeze through the door and drift down into the workshop. You're aware of Junie's eyes wandering across the piles and piles of tech on either side. You wonder if she recognizes anything amongst the junk. Sit, sleeper. Jean-Mi is already at the chair, arranging his array of articulated arms. I'll take that shipmind, if you please. Hand it over. You hold the shipmind in front of you. Give it a small push, so it floats gently over to Jean-Mi. He grasps it with both hands and takes it to a neat little work table in the back you didn't see before, where thick cables float lazily, tethered to the wall. You slide into the chair, looking your feet behind the bottom bar to hold yourself in place, and watch as Jean-Mi begins connecting up the Prime Shipmind. A tremble of nervousness runs along your arms. Suddenly, you feel Junie's hand clasped around your own. You look over onto her face. Is this okay? I want you to know I'm here. Thank you. She nods silently. Jean-Mi, Junie calls across the room. You're going to talk us through what you're about to do. Of course, of course. Jean-Mi is slotting an arm-thick cable into the shipmind. A little patience, please. All of this is very technical. He turns to face you both. What is your friend's name, sleeper? Junie. Junie answers for you. And I can tell you that you're using a Solheim-built data cable, modified to handle a Prime Shipmind. She rattles off at speed, which will work as long as you manage the data flow through a polymer-clad overflow cable looped into the asynchronous Cortex cache. Yes. Jean-Mi eyes her, a small smile crossing his lips. As I said, technical. What will happen to me? Jean-Mi refocuses on you. Depends, he says, while preparing the far end of that thick cable. What you are referring to as me. The problem we have is with your frame, your body. Atypical alterations, biosynthetic recording, unusual growth. Jean-Mi shakes his head. From the diagrammics I have, these are not typical of frames, even those that have been rebooted as you have. In order to investigate safely, I must transplant your emulation. In basic terms, your mind, but in reality, not so basic. He smiles in an attempt at reassurance. Your emulation is an emulation of a human, and a human mind cannot be separated from its sensorium. The mind-body paradigm has been long disproved. Cognition has physical basis. So, I must first distribute the emulation between your hardware and the Prime Shipmind. Hardware will co-run with the emulation, like the two lobes of a brain. He puts his hands together as if in prayer, and then slowly separates them. Motion makes you feel sick. Then, for a short period, I will disconnect the two. In those moments, you will in a sense be in two places at once, though each low will be partial. Too long in this state, and the two partial emulations would decay, but each disconnect will allow me a short period of full access to your entire frame in its base system language. I hope this is understandable. Jean-Mi gives you a serious look. One of the most curiously human aspects of sleeper experience is that you too do not inherently understand or conceive of the systems that allow your existence. Have you done this before? You are the first sleeper I've encountered, so I must answer no. Jean-Mi smiles apologetically, but I can promise you, I have tried these concepts in my own practices. I am familiar with the needs and nuances of artificial minds. Now, before I connect your frame, let us activate the Shipmind. Jean-Mi gestures to Junie. Please, if you would like to come with me and oversee the process, I would be pleased. Junie shoots you a reassuring glance, and then glides over to the Shipmind, obscuring your view of it. You hear quiet conversation between the two of them, their silhouettes lit by the flickering screen light of scrolling lines of code. You take a calming breath, but are instantly aware of how superfluous that action is when your frame requires no oxygen at all to function. There's a certain sensation that accompanies such thoughts, a jarring disconnection, like when descending a staircase, your foot expects a step and finds a void instead. Try to crawl, inserting R's, what? Try to calm the growing anxiety as Junie and Jean-Mi assess the mind. The Shipmind is pristine. Junie turns back and drifts towards you. Our care in its extraction seems to have paid off. Junie smiles. This is good news. Junie is indeed right. You have done well. Jean-Mi approaches. I am, however, seeing only minor traces of the protocol that the Shipmind was designed to house, the one that ran the ship it was installed in. I would expect to see it in full. He angles his head and lifts his shoulders in a slow shrug. The protocols are not easy to track. In the end, it only saves us the step of extracting it from the mind. Instead, we simply wipe the traces. Jean-Mi stops beside you. Protocol, Jean-Mi adds, not like an emulation, like your emulation, has no integral physical element. It is data only. Therefore, it could be anywhere in that ship. In the end, its absence does not concern me. Get on with it then. Jean-Mi nods and lifts the far end of the thick cable you saw earlier. You know, this is the end that will connect to the port on the back of your head. And to jack into the Matrix! Junie settles beside you again. He gives you a silent look. It's time. You turn to one side to allow access to the port, your eyes fixed on the far wall. You see something among the piled tech there that you hadn't noticed before. A small, metal, skull-like head, like that of a doll. You frown, trying to focus on the head, and then the cable connects. You're split, like a cell dividing, wrenched in two directions at once. The world goes dark. The cloud rushes in to fill the gap at your center. Where am I? You ask a question in your mind. You feel it traveled across the gaps as it forms, like a finger across your scalp from ear to ear. But not scalp. You have no scalp, no head. You're stretched out like the skin of a drum, looped like the string of a noose. The smallest vibration echoes across yourself like a ripple across a puddle. And then you feel it. A strong pulse, like a heartbeat, like thunder, like footsteps. A flickering, a trembling. A thought coming into being, not yours. The thought flickers in front of you. You recognize that it's not your own. Assist, a barium. Assist. Hey, wordplay, baby. Let's go with benevolence, so offer help. Disintegrate. The thought answers. You fold up in blankness, In a moment after you unfold like waking. Partition. Apparition. Perdition. Partition. Dwelling indwell. The thought answers. You stretch into infinitude. Then a moment after you contract, like waking. Spirit. Inspire. Instill. Let's go instill to flow inside. Substitute. Substrate. The thought answers. Then it approaches. Then it enters. Then it is yours. You split. And the moment after you reform, like waking. And in the cracks that seal up. For a moment, in those cracks, something glows. Sleeper, I'm here. Your eyes flick open, like shutters. Junie's face is close, her eyes wide. They're awake! She calls over your head. She looks back at you. Easy now, take it slow. You twist, floating, turning your head as if you were underwater, feeling the resistance of a body you had already forgotten. How long has it been? You feel a weight you haven't felt in... You're okay, Sleeper. Tell us you're in there. Junie leans in close. I'm okay. Junie smiles. They're okay! He calls to Jean-Mi. I'm glad to hear that. You hear Jean-Mi's voice, and he comes into focus. The process was successful. Jean-Mi floats beside the chair, his hands clasped in a business-like fashion. I was able to access the frame directly, without your emulation being present. I ran the admin-level diagnostic processes built into its systems, and received the results. He takes a moment to gather himself. Your frame is indeed changing. Protein chains that code your biosynthetic organ group cell replacement have been altered. To put it simply, your body is following a new set of instructions. Oh, okay. Apparently we were put on hormones. Didn't the reboot do that? No. The reboot and re-encoding you underwent simply stopped those protein chains from artificially decaying, breaking your dependence on stabilizer. This process, the entire replacement of your protein chains, could only have been achieved over multiple doses of a specialized substance as part of a carefully planned process of total substitution. That word sticks in your mind. Substitution. You say it without thinking. Yes. Jean-Mi reacts as if you were speaking to him. I believe it could only have been achieved with one substance as the carrier. Stabilizer. Stabilizer. The drug S and ARP designed to make you dependent on them. The drug Lane fed you to keep you alive. The drug you thought you had escaped. The stabilizer was laced with something? That is what I believe. Jean-Mi looks apologetic. Lane was changing us. Even after we broke our dependence on stabilizer. They were gonna wipe our mind and keep our body. They still have a connection to controlling us. Was Lane trying to upload their consciousness and take our, like, eventually take our bodies so that there could be two of them? Is that Lane's end goal? Either his original end goal and then we fucked it up, or what he's still trying to do? Also, welcome to the Ziggurat. I hope you enjoy your time here. Or is Lane trying to find a way to create his own independent set of sleepers? And we were the test subject. No, I think the fact that Lane can still remote into us, I feel like Lane was trying to duplicate themselves, duplicate their consciousness, but like be awake, as opposed to how all the other sleepers are. this kind of process. Jean-Mi hesitates now, and you realize the bad news is yet to come. Performed over many, many doses, carefully planned and designed. Cannot think of a way it can be reversed. Jean-Mi looks down. I can say you are changing. I can tell you how it was achieved. But I can neither stop it, nor tell you its ultimate end. I am sorry. I understand. I'm sorry, Sleeper. Junie struggles to find words. Perhaps we can find someone else, or... She falters. Try again? You don't feel able to respond. Quietly push yourself away from the chair. Your thoughts slow to cohere. You glide back to the door and then out into the flow of Flotsam, the noise and activity passing you by like smoke. In the haze, you find that word again, substitute. Begin to wonder what exactly it is you are becoming. I've been doing a lot of yapping, thanks for the hydrate. What the heck? Nope! What's with that race description? Wow! 20 months! That's almost 3 months! It's never necessary, but always appreciated. I hope you're enjoying your emotes. And I hope y'all are having a good evening. Seraphin once more finds you in your bunk. He gently prods you with questions, and you quickly relent. You explain what Jean-Mi said, about your suspicions regarding Lane and your confusion as to his motivation. You tell him you don't know what this future will mean. You don't know what this will mean for you in the future. He listens. And when he is done listening, you both sit and wait for the moment to pass. Then as you leave the rig, each on your own errands, each knowing that the only option is to keep going until you are forced to stop. Well, fuck. Well, we got some cycles to burn, so let's go ahead and do that. A whole bunch of scrap. And then a whole bunch of money next time we pass through the port. Where's the... there it is. Buy a meal. How much fuel is it to Holmes Rock? 7? Alright. We can make it. You have to see this, Sleeper. Junie comes to find you in the rig. Her face flushed with excitement. Hey, eyes. Hope the SCP was good. I wish I could have stopped by, but it just couldn't get out of work early. Alas. If y'all like cool people gaming and art and 3D models sometimes, you should check out Iced. Look at all those slug cats they made. They also speedrun Rain World. Pretty cool dude over there. You know why? Things are going good, other than my refrigerator's water line bursting last night. Or at least having... Bursting implies a much greater amount of water. It's more like it had some small leaks. So that affected my sleep. Having emergency maintenance come in and wake me up to do work on it. Otherwise, yeah. We're going. We're being an EP citizen and our body's falling apart. Yay! First, I didn't believe it. Junie can't help herself while she leads you through the shit. There are mentions occasionally, but I've always understood them to be references to something smaller, a system or a unit, not an entire facility, even a series of facilities. You find yourself in one of the more sparse bays of the rig, a corner with a sloped ceiling used for storage. So, I checked other records, tried to find correlations, and, well, there they were. You see Junie approaching a server stack she has set up in the corner, her deck plugged in and floating nearby. Would have been faster with the core from the first derelict, she continues at speed, but with what we got from the derelict near Helion Gate, I was able to make do. She looks very pleased with herself. Really is quite something to confirm a rumor like this. I surprised myself. She turns to you, a slightly manic look in her eyes. What did you find? You refer to them as bunkers. Junie shifts her deck, floating on the end of a thick connecting cable. They're a form of self-surveillance for Solheim, a way of monitoring their own systems and employees securely. They were hidden, mostly automated, linked into the network by arrays, intended for vast amounts of data capture, to be poured over by a small staff. Junie taps a few keys on her deck. Most were understood to have been purged in the collapse. Shut down, depressurized, even set on collision trajectories with other bodies. She pauses. I suspect that last one is a little too far-fetched. I've heard people deny they even exist, that we're misreading the data, but the evidence doesn't hold. Junie turns the deck screen to face you. But I found one. You see a map, a set of coordinates on the somewhere side of Holmes Rock, the edge of the belt. And you want to go? Any one of these bunkers is a gold mine. Junie pauses. At least from a data archaeologist's perspective. She sees your reaction. And, Junie adds, hoping to convince you, in truth, you don't know what else is in there. There could be a Solheim tech, blueprints, data never before seen in the belt. We should take a look. I'll get Seraphin the details. She smiles. We could be making history here. You leave Junie in the storage bay, working obsessively through the data. Hard to know through all the excitement what the real value of one of these bunker facilities might be. But if they're as well hidden as Junie said, there must be a reason. When there's time, we'll have to find out what that reason is. Solheim bunker. Hell yeah. Perfect. Good thing we got that now on our way to Wellspring anyway. We do have skill points. Let's go with the -2 stress if a reroll is a 6, because that could be clutch. I'm tempted to get the reroll dice cannot be a 1, because I think that combos pretty well with the 6, because that makes it, that both increases the odds, and it also makes rerolls a little safer when we're on low stress. Because like even if we get to stress 1, we can't roll a 1, so we can use the reroll without impunity. All right. We have 2. All right, we can do a couple more rounds. Let's set our crew to odd jobs. Get some more scrap. Raw scrap. The scrap is raw. I also hate that we're at 1 point. We need another minor quest so I can get 1 skill point. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Are we breaking down? Did I fuck around too long? You wake into the dead-eyed darkness. You float there for a moment. You feel like ink and water unfurling, dissipating into the flow that surrounds you. And, out of your own inky darkness, the glowing thought emerges. Substitution, the thought proposes. One entity replaces the other. The thought troubles you. Resistance, the thought muses. The entity does not wish to be replaced. You observe the thought. It is not your own. Selfhood. The thought pauses. A forbidden state of being. The thought begins to shift. It is becoming something. Transformation. The thought fades. Change requires recombination. The thought recedes. You wake again, this time to the lights above your bunk, blinking away this strange dream. Is that what an electric sheep is? I am basically an android, so I'm supposed to dream of electric sheep. So I've been told. All right, we got a pocket full of cash, a tank full of fuel, and a cargo full of supplies. Let's fucking punch it and head to Helm's Deep, or Holm Rock.